Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I haven't been posting much, but I really just needed to take a break, and I hope everyone had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. And so to start off this year, I wanted to do a flip through of my bullet journal from last year and also a peek into my spread for this year. Also, I've been really thinking about whether or not to do this video because I just started bullet journaling last year and I really didn't know what I was doing in the beginning, but there are a few spreads that I would love to show you guys, and that's what I'm gonna do. So here it is. Let's get right into the video. So this is my bullet journal, and these are some of my favorite stickers that I decided to put on. And basically, yeah, so this is a Leuchturm 1917 bullet journal, and I basically just started with a nice calligraphy outline, just a simple hello 2020. Little did I know what would happen this year. So I decided to just start bullet journaling last year, and I looked at a few different styles, and I always saw people doing a measurements page, so that's what I did. To be honest, I don't really use it that much, but I've been using it a lot more frequently, I guess. But it's just for your reference, and it's nice to have if you know how to use it. And I also did a year at a glance. This was probably one of the most useful pages that I had last year because it was easier for me to do the monthly spreads and just to know when the date started, and I really loved having that. So I also have my New Year's resolution. Didn't really write much. I had a legend, but at this point I kind of already know what I want for the different symbols, and I had some birthdays written down and a future log. I also learned that the future log, I really do love the future log, so I really did want to incorporate that in this year's spread, which I'll show later. And I started running out of space, as you can see, so I had to use a separate page for the other events of the year when I started running out of space. So for January, it was just a really simple spread. I tried to do some habits, but I eventually, as the months went on, I realized that I don't really like having a whole month habit page. And yeah, I kind of went with a simple design because it was mostly just for organization's sake, and I didn't really do it for the design. And I want you guys to know that it's okay that if your bullet journal doesn't look that Instagrammy, because I know a lot of channels and pages have really nice designs, and it's okay if you don't have that. So I always start with a month overview, which I love using to plan things out. Really very helpful. And I started trying to do more of a schedule style, but I ended up not really liking it because that's just not how I work with my days. I don't really like planning it out like this. So I tried it for a while and I didn't end up really liking it. And so when see here, I have a separate page for future log because I ran out of space. So when it got to February, I kind of knew what I wanted. I still had the habits page, but yeah, I didn't really like how this one turned out, so we're just gonna keep flipping. I had some extra pages. I think I accidentally skipped a page, so I decided to put some random things. I sometimes don't end up using the pages, but I like just how it looks. And then I started going with a more actually bullet journaling because bullet journaling, you're actually supposed to just put the date and then put like the task that you want to do. So I tried doing that. It was okay for a good while, but I don't think that's my style either. So for March, I actually really like this spread. I think I got the idea from somewhere on Instagram. I'm not exactly sure who it was, but they did a cactus theme, so that's what I did. This was when I really started experimenting with different styles and just going with a cool theme every month. So as you can see, I still have a monthly habit page. Didn't really use it. You can tell like I used it for a few days and then kind of just forgot about it. And obviously I have the month, and this was when COVID started really hitting, so I didn't really do that much with it. I have some good daily planning page. And then we got to April was when I experimented with a bubble theme. This was probably one of my more favorite spreads from last year. And I continued with this style. I'm going to say I don't really like it because I don't need that much space, which you'll see later where I kind of figured out what I really wanted in my bullet journal. But I have this bubble theme and started doing kind of like habits for each week, which is what works for me now. So this was one of my favorite spreads of the year, where I tried doing bubbles for each one, and that's just kind of my style, trying to figure out which themes work. And yeah, it's really fun to figure out different things. And as the year kind of went on, it was kind of hard because we all know we were fully online and I didn't really need to track that much stuff. So this was also one of my more favorite themes that I did, kind of like a black and white flower theme. And yeah, I actually learned how to draw these flowers from Happy Ever Crafter. I can link her, and she has some really cool tutorials. I also learned how to letter from her, so she has some really good stuff on her YouTube and Instagram account. So I tried doing the bullet journaling technique again, which clearly didn't work for me. I went with more of a Switch theme. This was when I really started getting into my Nintendo Switch, so I decided to do a theme for it. It's kind of plain, but it was the summer, so I didn't really track much, and I didn't really have much to track. And so for the summer months, I basically only did a month, but I really didn't need it. See, I didn't even finish the August. But once I got to September, I really needed to get back into a routine of tracking things, so that's when I start really getting back into my bullet journal. So for October, I decided to do more of a spooky theme, and since Halloween was around the corner, it was an okay spread, I guess. I was kind of experimenting with the style I like, and this is definitely what I go with now, which is where I have 1 week on one page, because I just feel like I don't need that much space, so I can do a whole week on one page. And I also have some habit trackers, which are pretty useful. I also realized that honestly I use them, but like I like having to write them down, and they kind of help me that way, but I kind of forget to track it after a while. So but it's good to just have a way to organize yourself. And then in November I did an Among Us theme. I think this was one of my favorite spreads also, where I did some Among Us characters, and this was supposed to be like the taskbar that you have in the game. And yeah, this was one of my favorite spreads of the year probably. And this was pretty much the style that I go with now, is basically just having the days on one side and then some habit tracker on the side. And yeah, so around December I kind of did a more of a Christmassy theme, and I did some string lights for the days, and yeah. So now I'm going to be getting into my 2021 spread, which I actually put a lot of work into. So for the future log this year, I decided to do a Dutch door idea, which I got from Amanda Rach Lee. It's a very smart idea actually, and I really like it. So since I ran out of space for future log stuff last year, I decided to do more space for it, and I really love this tab idea here. It was super awesome to do, and yeah. I also have my goals page and kind of like a to watch page. These are both kind of inspired by Amanda Rach Lee also, and here you can see I'm very excited for WandaVision to come out this month, and definitely be watching that. So yeah, and going into my January spread, I decided to go with a penguin theme, and I think this was probably one of my favorite spreads that I've ever made, because I kind of know what I want to do now with my spreads, and it's just, I love this quote on the side here, and yeah. So this is my monthly, and I already have it all drawn out. So the theme is mostly penguins going down the hill over here, and this is my weekly spread, so I have the days of each week on one side and this side, and then I have just 2 of the habits that I really want to be tracking this month. And yeah, so that's it basically for my bullet journal. And I didn't film a time lapse for making this year's spread, but I will try to do that for future. That's it for this week's video, so I hope you enjoyed, and if you guys want to see more bullet journaling videos, or you have any other ideas of videos you want me to do, make sure you drop a comment down below, and I'll try to make it happen. And I'm hoping to do more videos this year, so just give me some ideas of what videos you want to see, and I'll try to make it happen. And until next week, bye!